How you doing, Paul?
How's it going, Miles?
You ready to get started?
Yep.
All right. So first of all, why don't you just tell me about yourself?
So I was born and raised in Pensacola, Florida. I have a family of five, including myself. My parents are from New Orleans. Grew up, born and raised in Pensacola. Came over to Louisiana for undergrad and been here ever since. And I'm a pre-medical biology major.
Okay. Describe your most recent work experience.
So my most recent work experience was working for LSU in the mammalogy division in the Museum of Natural Science. Predominantly, I was doing lab work and research under Professor Esselstyn, who's the mammologist, and I went out into the field to collect specimens and extracted DNA and a lot of molecular genetics.
Very cool. What is your biggest accomplishment and failure in college?
So I'd say I'll start with my biggest failure. My biggest failure was getting a C plus in my only C in biochemistry with Dr. Waldrop, and he's a well-renowned professor at LSU. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he's a very difficult teacher. And so I really regret getting that letter grade in that class, but at the same time, I think I learned a lot from a difficult class like that, especially when I'm aspiring to go to medical school. So I think I took a lot away from it. My greatest success would be, I would say, finishing my freshman year with a 4.0. And that's usually what most people, that's their downfall year.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, so I'm pretty, feel really good about that.
Well, good for you. Tell me about a time you used analytical thinking to solve a problem.
So just like I was telling you, I worked for LSU. I had to use analytical problem solving in order to go throughout all the different gene banks. As you know, your DNA has many different genes on your chromosomes, and we were looking for selective markers in your DNA to categorize these different species and be able to establish their relationships and how they're related. And so we had to go through a computer program called Genius, and we had to hand pick out these different genetic markers, and so we had to analytically go about that.
Okay. More technical question. Are you proficient with Microsoft Excel?
I would say that I am. I took a few business classes in college. I took ISDS, the first one, intro, and I'd say I learned a lot about calculating, doing algorithms and organizing stuff in a spreadsheet, and then being able to go about what you want to do and navigate the program.
Okay. How well do you handle stress or deadlines?
So deadlines I handle fairly well. I like to play it a little close to the end sometimes and procrastinate, but at the same time, I don't handle that part well, being stressed out. So I think it's important to have a support system and to stay ahead and stay on top of things, and as they say, hit the ground running. So that's what I try to live my life by.
Okay. Give an example of a time you used teamwork to complete a task.
So my position here at Kappa Sig Fraternity is Grand Master of Ceremonies, and in that position I'm responsible for different ritual proficiencies, parts of the ritual brotherhood events, and organizing stuff and communicating with the alumni. So I'd say I've used a lot of teamwork with that, with the rest of the members of the executive council, and we've done a lot of stuff. So we've really worked together.
Okay. Well, on that leadership position, tell me about a challenging moment you had.
So part of the IFC position that I have a position within the fraternity, but I'm going to go ahead and take this to, I was a Rho Alpha, which is in charge. Your responsibility is in taking care of Rush and helping facilitate that. And so I'd say, you said what's a time that I had
a challenging moment?
A challenging moment was I was a Rho Alpha at first, and then the next year I was the head Rho Alpha. So I was in charge of all of IFC Rush for the fraternities, and that was a very challenging moment. I had to organize everything and be able to make sure people were in the right spots at the right times. And a large operation like that, something can go wrong so easily, even when you have it all planned out. So I had to have backup plans and stuff like that.
All right. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So I'm a pre-med major. I'm a senior in college right now, so I hopefully will be in medical school next year, this fall. And in 5 years, I would be starting my residency program. I'm interested in ophthalmology, which is an eye doctor, and so I don't know if that's where I will end up, but that's where I would hope to end up at this point. We'll see how rounding in medical school changes my opinion. So.
Okay. Lastly, why do you want to work here?
I want to work here because it's a very exciting place to work, and there's lots of opportunity ahead. I feel as if this position is good for me, and it's also good for my job and my professional life.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for coming in, Paul.
Thank you, Miles.